The arena lights dimmed, and for a moment, the world felt like it had stopped breathing. Every pair of eyes locked on the tunnel, waiting for the fighters who were about to turn this night into something unforgettable. On one side, Brian Viloria, an American warrior with a veteran's instincts, a champion who knew exactly how to weather storms and then create one of his own. On the other side stood Roman Chocolatito Gonzalez, the pride of Nicaragua, a relentless machine known for pressure, precision, and punches that didn't just hurt, they drained the soul. The suspense began building the moment Gonzalez stepped onto the ramp, his cold stare fixed ahead, his gloves tapping together like a countdown to destruction. As both fighters entered the ring, the crowd's roar turned into an eerie hum, the kind that hinted everyone understood a storm was coming but didn't know when it would hit. The referee's final instructions barely registered through the tension. Both men stared through each other, already fighting the first round in their heads. When the bell finally rang, it felt like a gunshot in a silent desert. Viloria came out sharp, cautious, trying to understand the rhythm before the rhythm swallowed him whole. Gonzalez moved like a hunter circling prey, each step measured, each feint whispering danger. And in that first minute, it became clear to everyone. This wasn't just a fight. It was a collision of two different worlds, two different destinies, and only one of them was leaving this ring with their spirit fully intact. The suspense wasn't just building. It was tightening like a noose, and the audience had no choice but to hold on. As the second round began, the energy inside the arena shifted dramatically. Viloria, usually calm and calculating, started throwing sharper, heavier punches, trying to change the rhythm before Chocolatito took control. But Gonzalez answered with combinations so fast, so precise, it was as if he wasn't punching. He was chiseling away at a statue only he could see cracking. Every time Viloria tried to move backward, Gonzalez cut him off. Every time Viloria tried to jab, Gonzalez slipped forward and returned fire twice as hard. The tension became crushing, like the audience was watching a man realize he was being outpaced by something relentless. But Viloria wasn't finished. With his pride on the line, he fired a right hand that snapped Gonzalez's head back and made the commentators gasp. For a brief second, the arena believed the momentum would swing. But Gonzalez didn't step back. He didn't blink. Instead, he smiled, a cold, terrifying smile that shook the confidence of even the most seasoned fans. Something inside Viloria changed in that moment, as though he understood the magnitude of the mountain in front of him. Chocolatito increased the pressure, slipping, weaving, punching with a rhythm that felt impossible to match. Suddenly, the round ended, leaving everyone breathless, hearts pounding, wondering how much longer Viloria could survive against a force that didn't slow, didn't hesitate, didn't even seem human. Viewers were glued to the screen, trapped in suspense, knowing rounds like these break champions or turn them into legends. The third round opened with an intensity that was almost uncomfortable to watch. Viloria tried to reset his strategy, stepping sideways, changing angles, trying to create distance where Gonzalez couldn't suffocate him. But Chocolatito, he fired back with everything he had, throwing combos that would have hurt anyone else. But Gonzalez walked through them like a man who felt nothing. The suspense reached its peak when Gonzalez cornered Viloria, unleashing a sequence of punches so quick the camera struggled to track them. The referee edged closer. The audience stood up. Commentators held their breath. Everyone felt the ending approaching, like a tidal wave. Yet somehow, Viloria survived the round, stumbling back to his corner with a look that said he knew he was standing on a cliff's edge, and the wind was picking up speed. The suspense was suffocating. Nobody could look away. Round 4 began with desperation leaking through Viloria's movements. He wasn't just fighting Gonzalez anymore. He was fighting time, fighting exhaustion, fighting the realization that the man in front of him was fighting at a pace that felt supernatural. Gonzalez smelled blood. Not the blood from bruises, but the blood of fading resistance. He pushed forward like a locomotive, body shots thundering into Viloria's ribs, hooks slicing across his guard, jabs marking his face like signatures of dominance. Viloria attempted a last stand, throwing flurries with everything he had left, trying to slow the monster in front of him. For a heartbeat, he even landed a combination that drew cheers and hope from his corner. But the hope evaporated the moment Gonzalez responded with a counter that nearly folded him. The round spiraled into chaos, Viloria absorbing, Gonzalez delivering, the crowd frozen, the commentators nearly speechless. Viloria's legs wobbled twice, and each time the audience gasped, waiting for the fall. But somehow, through sheer heart, he stayed upright, staggering into the bell like a man being dragged by gravity. The suspense wasn't just high, it was unbearable. Everyone watching knew the end wasn't just near, it was stalking its prey. The fifth round opened with the kind of tension that makes the air feel heavy. Viloria stepped forward, trying to prove he still had something left, but Gonzalez immediately marched him down, firing combinations that echoed like thunder. Every punch had meaning, every movement had purpose. Chocolatito wasn't just finishing a fight, he was crafting a statement. Viloria tried to answer, but his punches bounced off Gonzalez like raindrops hitting concrete. Suddenly, a brutal combination from Chocolatito snapped Viloria's head back, sending him stumbling into the ropes. The crowd erupted, the referee rushed forward, and Gonzalez unleashed a final barrage: hooks, uppercuts, jabs, each one landing clean, each one pushing Viloria further into danger. The referee stepped in, waving his arms, stopping the fight before something irreversible happened. It was over. A TKO that left the crowd roaring, commentators shouting, and viewers stunned into silence. Roman Gonzalez stood in the center of the ring, breathing steady, eyes sharp, as though he had known from the very first bell that this was how it would end. The suspense broke into shock, awe, and admiration. This wasn't just a TKO, it was a masterclass, a reminder that when Gonzalez steps into the ring, he brings not just power and skill, but a storm no opponent can outrun.